Everybody tractors in, suit them up. Alright, continuing on with the 460 class, we got George Barber in your left lane, going against Tim Shelton in your right.
Now it is time for Growth's Dragbike Ultra 460 competition, starting out with George Baber. Recently unretired George Baber, out there with the Baber family. George going up against Tim Shelton. Slightly better qualified for Mr. Baber. He's been 464. And George doing it like a young buck with a 008 reaction time. 008 for good old Georgie. Holy cow. What a way to come back. Runs his best lap of the weekend in the first round and just destroys the Christmas tree. That's a confidence builder right there. George Baber back and ready. He ain't here to play, he's here to work. Now we've got Kevin Clark and Boo Brown. Hey, by the way, all those sportsman classes should be queued up in the staging lanes at this time. We're in Ultra 460 now. We're in Ultra Ultra 460 now will be an MTC Engineering Super Cup shortly thereafter. Wiseco Street Fighter, Star Racing Top Gas, and Worldwide Bearing Crazy 8s should all be in or on their way to the staging lanes. Yes, it's time once again for the first round of competition here at the MTC Engineering Nationals, brought to you by Vance Hines, nationwide, worldwide, season-long sponsors of the Man Cup. Kevin Clark and Boo Brown. It's an all-Virginia matchup here. Number 13 versus the number 4 qualifiers. Boo Brown looking real good with a 461 earlier. Identical reaction times, but Kevin Clark's bike stops shifting at mid-pass. An easy runaway for Mr. Brown, who might have pedaled the throttle a little bit on that. I can't say for sure. Only went a 466. Of course, he's only made one other pass all weekend, a 461, so consistency is there. Next up, it is Chase Morris and Alan Fields. Alan Fields, your number 1 qualifier, 460 with a 3. Alan from my favorite North Carolina town, Climax. Takes a lot of chutzpah to name your town Climax. Of course, if you're not Jewish, you won't know what that means anyway. Chase Morris from the more traditionally named Madison, Tennessee. Look at him go. Chase Morris, 021 on a light, 115 to the 60, and look at that. Oh, no. Alan Fields, your number 1 qualifier, breaks out in the first round. Pushed a little harder by the fact that his opponent handed him the tree. So, an upset there as the number 1 qualifier goes down first round. Now Bobby Lovingood, the number 2 qualifier. He was on the pole for a little bit, but Mr. Fields changed that. Brunson Groth is nowhere near the index in qualifying. The number 15 qualifier with a 718. Don't count this team out, though. They have a real ability to make it happen when it counts. And right now is when it counts. Pre-staged, who'll go in first? It is Bobby, and here comes Brunson. Wow, it is a battle of reaction times. The win goes to Brunson Grothis, and what did I tell you? Talk about pulling it out of your proverbial you-know-where. He goes 718 in a single pass in qualifying, and then bangs the index first round to take out the number 2 qualifier. Even overcoming a slightly quicker reaction time on his opponents. Oh, wow. Great stuff there. Margin of victory, 0.010 of a second. Brunson Grothis. not hang. Beats Joey Gladstone. KG veteran Billy goes 466 with a 009 light and beats Joey Gladstone's 464. That's a very convincing drubbing there. This goes to show you, Billy's still got it in him and is more than willing to take the youngins to school. Next up, Joe Lemons and Mike Tian. Mike Tian on that ex-Pro Comp bike that he and Dan Rudd and Billy Vose had so much fun with a couple of years back. Looks like Mike's a little crooked at the starting line. Got the bike leaned over to the left. And straight. Here goes Tyrone Lemons and Roderick Sanders. Tyrone gets a line on Roderick. Can he hold the advantage? He cannot. Roderick Sanders, 473 for the win. If we could get Tyrone Lemons' crew out there right away, please, to get his bike off the track. I don't think he's got enough rolling power to make it on his own. Tyrone Lemons' crew, if you could please head out to the track and get your racer off the track ASAP. Once again, Tyrone Lemons' crew, if you could please head on down and get the bike off the track, we appreciate it. Looks like we've got the right crew member on her way to get him. MTC Engineering Super Comp Racer number 3202. We need you to the lanes, please. 3202 to the lanes, please. MTC Engineering Super Comp Racing 3202. Well, since we had to do a little track maintenance, we are now pushing the pro round back to 3 p.m. So pros starting with Pingle Top Fuel, if you could please make your way to the lanes for a round at 3. Excuse me, no Top Fuel this round. That's right, we're going to skip past Top Fuel and start with Hawaii Pro Fuel. So all pros starting with Hawaii Pro Fuel, start making your way to the lanes for a 3 o'clock appearance. Once again, Top Fuel will stay back. We're going to start it out with Hawaii Pro Fuel. Let's go. How close can you get? 4:59 with an 8. 2,000's off the perfect pass there. Legion of Doom making it happen. No less than 3 bikes here this weekend. The whole family's out there drag racing. Now we move into MTC Engineering Super Cup, the 890 Index, traditional historic class here. And I think it's been sponsored by MTC Engineering more than a couple times over the years, too. This index class goes back to the 1980s. First up, it is our number 1 qualifier, Luis Hernado, going up against Bob Carlson. Big matchup here. Luis Hernado takes Bob to school on the line. Look at that 006 bulb for Luis. And he did it. He did it. He drove the Master under the index, trying to make up the difference. Extremely well done there, Luis. Luis runs 896 on an 890, trees Bob Carlson and drives him to breakout. Runs 892 on the 890 index and takes an easy win as Eric Griffith red lights. And once again, pros, we need you up here for a 3 o'clock call. That'll start with Hawaii Pro Fuel, advancing to Falicon Pro Mod and Nitrous Express Pro Open. Of course, we'll also run APE Pro Street and Shinko WPS Pro Street at that time, in that order. makes up the difference, goes only a 950. That's all he needed, though. Mark McCoy's bike slowed way up. Sean will be hard-pressed to make that up. Sure enough, double breakout. Best reaction time usually wins that every time. But now the double breakout is won by the bike with the slower reaction time. Spencer Claycomb. Spencer knew when to get out of the gas. Looks like he did a little dump on Mr. Minor. Next pair up, Freddie Frazier looks a little crooked there off the starting line. He's about to do a right turn. So let's watch as the long fishhook arc occurs. As Freddie goes out into some untrodden territory. Oh, the bike straightened right out off the line, no big deal. Oh boy, he was out on Chad, but only by a whisker. Chad playing a much better game at the stripe. Freddie Frazier will not advance. For the win. Matt Smith, Cordova, Tennessee, Doghouse Racing, going to take on Angie Zambrana, who really has had a good weekend. Some of the most consistent and effective racing I've seen her do like ever. Angie's there, but Matt's out ahead just by a little. She can't cannot overcome the reaction time difference. Bike seems to slow down a little bit. Matt Smith takes it easy, 9:11. Dustin Lee and Curtis Griggs. Dustin takes Curtis to school on the Christmas tree. That's all she wrote. Dustin should have the easy win, and he does. Curtis drives deep under. Way under the index. 5 thousandths. Ron Johnson on the vintage Dragmaster chassis in the Pepsi lane. Taking on Boo Brown. Boo Brown now on his street tire bike. Boo Brown is dragging Ron down the track due to that slow reaction time. Boo Brown all in control on that one. Adrian Jones all over that red light. Dusty Brazel the win. 893 beats a slightly quicker 891, but on a red light. There goes Harvey Hubbard, Sidley, Virginia. Competition single on that 890 index. How close will he get? Well, not too bad. Next up, the 950 index class. All street bikes in Wiseco Street Fighter. Street Fighter combated on a 950 index. One of these bikes has been on it. It's Miller time. Danny Miller went 954 for the number 5 qualifying spot. Jerry Gribbons, not nearly as fortunate, has been barely able to even break into the 9s. So he's got to find it now. What Jerry Gribbons found was a gift-wrapped present. And that wrapping paper was what color? That's right. Blood red. Jerry gets the freebie. Once again, pro round, 3 p.m., starting with Hawaii Pro Fuel. Advancing to Falcon Pro Mod, and then Nitrous Express Pro Open, APE Pro Street, and Shinko WPS Real Street. All those classes need to start being in the lanes at 3 p.m. for the next pro round. We're going to sit out top fuel this particular round and bring them back later for their final. Gives it up on the starting line with a horrible light and a wheelie. Maurice, an easy win. Of the slow reaction times. Wade Smith and Chris Rolls decide who can make a second mistake. In this case, it'll be Chris. He breaks out. Bob Carlson, in his usually dependable self, throws a great light, gets out ahead of Luis Reyes by virtue of that light, and stays out ahead. Just far enough ahead to win, apparently, by those numbers. He goes 973 and Luis 966. Margin of victory, 5 thousandths of a second for Bob. Nice. Roy Johnson's got Spencer in the light, but not by much, only a couple hundredths. Spencer wants it bad, but look at that. Roy Johnson, your winner, 955. Dustin Lee takes a win over a very confused Brian Miner, who throws a 251 light, for reasons anybody can imagine. Dustin Lee's 069, more than enough to cover that. Plus, he runs real close to the index, 951. Here's Lindbergh Simmons and Walter Houtailing. The Mystic Man, Walter, 51 years young. Walter's got the advantage by a tenth in reaction time. He's looking to his left, deciding, do I pedal it? Sure I do. I got this guy. And a very efficient win for Walter Houtailing. Surprising. Both riders out of the throttle. I think Barry just got a little confused on that one. Willie Moore throws a 218 light and beats Barry with an 069. Amazing. Stanley Russell gave it up a little bit on a tree. Was it too much? It was. It was. Terry T-Bone Singleton nails him on the big end. Stanley Russell's 128 light, not nearly on par. Next up will be Star Racing Top Gas, the 820 index, our fastest quarter-mile index. Now up, Star Racing Top Gas, Boo Brown, number 3 qualifier, taking on Dalton Perry. Boo is in the Pepsi lane. He went 8:21. Dalton Perry just under the index of an 8:18. Boo Brown making a little bit of a right turn, bringing it back at mid-track. And, wow, look at that. Dalton Perry strapped the 007 light on Boo Brown and took him out. Boo Brown goes 8:21 and loses to Dalton Perry's 8:22. Dalton Perry brought his axe with him to the starting line and just blew the tree apart on Boo Brown. Now Tom Galligan, Brian Bolt. Tom Galligan goes way red. Brian Bolt, the number 13 qualifier. qualifier will accept that present graciously and advance to the next round. Chad Otts has a ritual. Bob Carlson waits patiently while Chad goes through the motions. But hey, every racer's got a different way of making things happen. Bob goes deep. And Bob gets the bulb, although not by much, just over 100th. Great drag race coming here at the 8th mile. It is Chad Otts, and look at that. Bob Carlson cannot run the number. Chad Otts overcomes a slight disadvantage, a slight deficit in reaction time for the win.